Hello Drive Radio fans, Richard Rush here today with the long review of the 2015 Nissan Versa Note SR. And the SR is kind of their sporty version, sporty trim package of the Note. It gives a different kind of views of, or I should say of the Versa. Gives front and rear spoiler, gives a little bit of rear wing that we'll kind of show you as we get to the backside. A couple other different features. This is the wagon style of the Versa. That's what the Note gives you. It's kind of a different style. If you like a little bit more of a sporty look, you could say. But again, as we kind of head around to the front here, we'll go through a lot of different features here. As this car sits, it's about $19,000. This Versa Note starts out about $17,000. You can see the different grille as well on the Sport. I forgot to mention that. The car has a 1.6 liter engine on the inside, 109 horsepower, and some of you are like, 109 horsepower? Why is it even worth putting in a car? It works great. Runs well, especially even up here at our altitude, really works well. The CVT transmission, we've driven quite a few of them. They keep getting better and better over the years. This one works pretty well. We'll show you here in the driving portion kind of how this car actually operates in the snow. Over the past week, we've gotten about 8 inches here in the Denver market, so we've definitely had a chance to drive this car and test it in the snow. As we kind of get to the back, we'll point out one thing here that's very cool. It's a very subtle feature, but again, very cool. These taillights are actually vented back here, and it's kind of hard to see with the camera, but they're vented, which means it brings air in and pushes it back out around. Not only does it help fuel economy, which if you were driving this car efficiently, you could get up to 40 miles per gallon. I myself with the lead foot have been able to average about 32 here. My dad, who's a little bit less of a lead foot, has been able to average 35, 36. So really this car works well. But again, that venting helps that, and it also helps to eliminate the snow and the weather elements from building up on the back of the car as well as the wings. So you actually get better visibility from the taillights. And again, for a car that you're looking at for possibly maybe a first-time driver or maybe a first car as a married couple that's very inexpensive, or not inexpensive, $20,000 almost is a lot of money, but for this car in this market, that $19,000, you get a lot of car and a very good car at that for not a whole lot of money. When you can go out and spend, I mean, cars these days are $50,000, $60,000 pretty easily. You get a very good car that's going to get you from point A to point B safely. You get all that kind of in this one, I want to say tiny package, because there's a good amount of room, but a good package here. So that being said, let's head on a driving portion. We'll show you how this car works. Thankfully, we actually have a little bit of snow, so we can actually show you how a front-wheel drive car performs in the snow. But again, the 2015 Nissan Versa Note. Okay, Drive Radio fans, we're in the interior, or the driving portion, I should say, of the 2015 Nissan Versa Note. And we'll kind of show you some of the interior features here. Very nice display, not touchscreen. You still have the physical buttons, but it is still a color display. Kind of turn it on here, circle down, you can see you have the dial if you want to switch to FM. It's pretty easy. XM, you have different apps that you can use. I will kind of let them load for a second, but overall, interior of this car works really well. You have a nice display. It's kind of hard for us to see here, but you do have a nice display that shows different pieces of information, such as trip information, average miles per gallon, average speeds, etc., etc. With us just starting the car up, I apologize, but the apps are kind of struggling to load, so we'll just go right into the driving portion. This car does have on it a nice rear view camera. It does not turn with the steering wheel, which we've become accustomed to in some other cars, but overall this car works well. I will mention this and talk about this a little bit more in the interior portion. Only complaint with this car is the lack of kind of, I guess you could say, heating that comes from the interior. It's a very cold car. There's not a lot of oomph to this car to keep it warm. But as we'll kind of drive here, we'll do our best to show you with snow. We'll actually get around here a little bit, come back around and show you on our hill kind of how this car works. But overall, we're in snow here. I feel like I can pretty much drive anywhere. I mean, I don't know if it's going to take me through 8 inches of powder, but this is pretty snow-packed road, pretty icy. As long as you're very careful with the conditions and driving like you should, you will have no problems in this car with the front-wheel drive this setup that it has on it. I'll kind of put the wheel down real quick, and that's it. The traction control activates, and it works really well in this car. We'll kind of go down this hill here, and I'll show you. I'm not really touching the brake too hard at all. This car slows down very nice, and it's a benefit to test these cars in the snow. It's very nice to see. We didn't really get to test this car too much on actual dry pavement, but I have no doubt that it would perform. Again, this car right here, as tested, is about $19,000. Starts out about $17,000. So you're really getting a lot of value for your car. Is it the quietest car that you're going to buy? No, not by any stretch of the imagination. However, is it a very functional car? Is it going to get you from point A to point B, and is it going to do so very efficiently? Does it have some cool features on it? Yes, very much so. So with that, we'll kind of come back around here to our hill here. We'll actually stop, show you kind of a start from a pretty steep incline of a snow-packed road, front-wheel drive, show you how this car works, and we'll come back and do the interior. Okay, Drive Radio fans, we're kind of here on the driving portion. It's going to kind of splice this in. We're going to show you starting off on a snow-packed hill here in Colorado. We just got about 8 inches total in the past 4 days, and we're going to show you in the 2015 Versa Note how this works with a front-wheel drive car. So we're going to kind of start off here. Traction control's working right now, affecting the spin of the wheels, but we are making it up this hill, and it's a pretty steep incline. I mean, it's not going very fast, but it's working right now, and honestly, I'm not really feeling any slippage or anything like that. So it is just a front-wheel drive car, but we got about 8 inches packed down on here, and it's working pretty well. All right, fans, we're back here for the after the driving portion. Hopefully you enjoyed that. We tried to do our best this time to kind of show you the actual functionality of this car, how well it works. But again, as we always say, get out and drive these cars yourselves, especially here in Colorado, or if you're in a market that has inclement weather frequently. Get out and test drive these cars. You can actually find out a lot about these cars, especially in this weather where the roads aren't all perfect. You can find out. Some people will buy a car, get it, they'll take it in the snow, like, man, this car is actually terrible. In fact, I had a family member who said that, who did that, and they're actually pretty disappointed with the car that they purchased. But again, we're here in the back. This is again the kind of the 5th door wagon style of the Versa. Open it up. It does have a nice kind of opens up there. It's not automatic, but with a slight little pull there. Snow brush, obviously. Good amount of room for this back area. You're able to put some groceries in here, put some boxes, as we kind of make our weekly Costco trip. You're able to do that. As you can see, you're able to fold the seats down from back here, and if I can figure it out, you actually just pull this up right here, push it down, and you have a lot of space in there. You can still have someone sit there, or if you want to have 2 people sit in the middle, you can pull there. But again, that was actually relatively easy to figure out. Just pull that up, you're able to do that. But so really a great functional back seat here. We'll kind of go around to the passenger side here, hop in the rear view, and I'll even do that with the seat being down over here, which kind of shows how much. Again, seat all the way back here in the front, and I know it's hard to see for the shadows, but really I have plenty of room here. I'm 5'10", I'm a wide-shouldered, I guess wide body, you could say wide-shouldered guy, and I'm able to fit in here no problem. Even with the seat being down, I feel like I have plenty of room to sit in here. We'll point out some nice kind of the chrome door handles here, the nice kind of other different designs aspects on the front side. This is plastic, but again, you're getting a $19,000 car. You're paying this. As we kind of get along to the front here, I will point this out. My fiance, soon-to-be wife, she kind of saw this car at first, was not very impressed, and then as we drove this car actually just a little bit for further, kind of rode around in it, did kind of our weekly driving routine, she's like, wow, this car actually isn't too bad. So this car will grow on you, I will say that, definitely. So as we kind of get to the front, I'll open the door here for my dad, and I'll go around to the front side. All right, fans, we're back to the fronts here, and I will point this out. As you can see, there's a nice kind of red stripe that goes down the middle, or not red, I'm sorry, the orange. There's some orange interior. This is specific to the SR package. Gives it a more sporty feel, almost kind of like a sporty feeling suede, and it is suede, I will say that. So kind of a nice sporty feel to this car. But again, as we're on the interior, we went over a lot of this in the driving portion, but as you can see, really actually very simple to use. It's not the too fancy display, not touch, but you still have buttons. I will say this, car manufacturers, it's hard to replace the physical buttons, especially for the volume and the tuning. It's very difficult to actually do that. Change the knob, change the volume, kind of doing all that touchscreen. I like how you still have a nice color display here, but it's not too difficult to use. Again, you have your gear selector. You do have 4 cup holders here. I know that these 2 cup holders in the back are kind of for the back seat, but it is nice to have 2 cup holders. They work very well. I will point this out. This is a physical actual lever almost to switch from taking air in from the outside and recirculating the air. So you can actually, when you flip this, you can actually hear the vent kind of opening and closing, which is a nice feature. You don't see that a lot anymore, but a very cool feature. But overall, really did enjoy this car. Again, we kind of went over that in the driving portion. This car really worked well. We talked about the fuel economy. Overall, the only complaint I would have with this car currently is the fact that it is very cold initially. We had several sub-zero temperature days here in Colorado, and it is a very cold car if you're starting out in the morning. So make sure if you get this car, you're able to put it inside or give ample time to heat this car up in the morning. So, but with that being said, this is the 2015 Nissan Versa Note. Richard Rush with Drive Radio. Check out our other videos. We have a long list of other reviews here on Drive Radio, on our YouTube page, Drive Radio, no spaces. Also head to our website, drive-radio.com. And if you're on our website, head to 560thesource.com, which is our radio page. You can listen to us live there every Saturday, 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. here in the Denver market, or check us out on the TuneIn app. Just search 560 The Source. You'll find us there. And if you have any helpful comments, tips, tricks, let us know. Feel free to kind of write us in. We love to incorporate those as possible. But again, the 2015 Nissan Versa Note SR package, Richard Rush, John Rush, Drive Radio. Thanks for joining us.